Hello, welcome back to the channel of nonsense. Welcome to the fields of northern France, the Trans-European Trail. And just a quick video about the tyres that I've put on my 2025 Yamaha Tenere Rally 700. And they are these, the Mitas Enduro Trail XT. So I've got an XT Plus on the front, which is an 80-20 tyre, so 80% off-road, 20% on-road, super knobbly. And on the back, I've got the Enduro Trail XT, so without the Plus, which should be a bit longer lasting, a little bit less extreme on the back. So I've switched to these for this trip that I've just finished. Actually, we're about to head to the tunnel, and I've done about 600 miles, mostly off-road through mud, across gravel, on-road, motorways, the whole gamut basically. And you can see I've been having some fun on this trail here. So this is just my thoughts, my little quick review on these tyres on different types of surfaces from the point of view of a fairly novice off-road adventure bike rider. And I'll cut the chase. I've been very impressed. But anyway, I've recorded a few bits. Let's cut to that, and I'll try and make it hang together in the edit to show you why these have massively improved my enjoyment of off-road riding. Yeah, it is pretty slippery. I'm going to take the middle. Smashing through Charlotte's Web while having the occasional the occasional muddy bit like this. Oh, why did I slow down? Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yes! Sorry, I meant to stay right. These Mitas tyres shouldn't really work on the road very well. The front is only 20% road, 80% off-road, and the rear is only 30% on the road. But I've done about 600 miles on them now, thereabouts. I can confirm that after a while, even on off-road pressures like I am at the moment, if the tarmac's dry, you get a decent sense of confidence from them. At least once you're used to them and they're worn in. To start with, the steering did feel quite heavy, a bit ponderous, and when you leant it over it felt quite unsteady. But you can still kind of bomb down a V road at 60, 70 or more, and when you get to a corner, if the tarmac's dry at least, you can corner with a decent level of confidence. I'm not talking about getting your knee down and chucking it in with a really firm press on the handlebar. If you do that on this T7, it does get a bit flighty, but it's not stopped me enjoying the road bits in between the trails. And I think perhaps that's the biggest compliment I can give them. And the front, yeah, is still noticeably knobbly, and you do get a bit of hum, but you can't hear above the wind noise once you're above 30 miles an hour anyway. And it's not super annoying. I can barely hear it now, to be honest. But there's a bit of a hum from the front, as you would expect with such an aggressively knobbled tyre. But yeah, I've just been really surprised by how these equip themselves on the tarmac. And obviously when it's wet, when the tarmac's slick, you need to be a bit careful, because obviously you're not going to have as much contact patch, and the compound's more designed to work with mud, etc. But I'm quite impressed. But anyway, you don't buy these tyres to ride on the road. It's good that they can do it, and they haven't got in the way of me enjoying the road bits. But let's cut some off-roading, and I'll show you what I've been getting up to on these tyres in the mud of France. Alright. So stuff like this, which is very sloppy mud under grass, these tyres just cut through really quite well. It's like, yeah, if there's a big sloppy big patch of mud, the front and rear are still going to move around if it's deep, but to a much lesser extent, or they can cope with much deeper gloop than the AX41s I had on before. They're, you know, just as good as everything else on gravel stuff like this. They dig in really nicely, and they've got loads of traction to cope with the Tenere 700's mosquito full of horsepower. But yeah, they're just very confidence inspiring, nice easy steer. Yeah, I'll get some gloopier stuff and show you how they cope then. Now, as we go up here, it's worth pointing out that my friend Matt behind me, on his 2009 Tenere 660, has got 50/50 Michelin Anakin Wilds on his bike. And it's quite telling, to be honest, because in the muddy bits, he's been slithering this way and that way, and his tyres have been visibly getting filled up with gloop. And that has led to a few slightly more horizontal moments, and these tyres just aren't filling up like that. No matter what we kind of go through. I mean, they will eventually, I imagine, but they have their limits, but their limits are quite high. And for me, as a novice off-roader, it's been massively reassuring to know that I can cut through a lot of gloop. Yeah, obviously you still get movement through the bars, which as a novice can be unsettling, but I've had a much greater pace across muddy stuff than on my old AX41. So yeah, I think I found a good tyre for everyday use for me. So I mostly use this bike for green laning with the odd bit of road travel. And as I say, it's not ruined the road bits, and it's made the off-roading bits 10 times more enjoyable. So yeah, I'm glad I went for the more aggressive tyre. I was a bit worried that I'd ruined this, but I've massively improved it, I think. On these Mitas Enduro Trail XT Plus and XT tyres. Sorry, I had to get that in there. Only thing I can't really comment on at the moment is longevity, because I've only had these on for 600 miles or so. But I'll do an update at some point in the future on my Tenere anyway, because I've lost a few bolts. And I'll report back. But anyway, let's go and do some more gloop. What a great place. Like, we come down here on knobbly tyres and think it's a bit of a challenge. That's just a dumped van. But I think that is the kind of terrain where my tyres make a big difference, because it's still slippery, but it does bite. So you can keep momentum. Oh, there's shooting in that woods. Ah! Wow. Sorry, that was a bit Greg Wallace, wasn't it? I'm having a sit down. After that single track ends, as a man with a shotgun, this gets very slippery. Am I going to get shot? Am I going to... Yeah, got some rocks and some roots. This is kind of technical stuff I had back in May quite a lot of. Not really sure the best way to go through these puddles. I'm just going to send it and hope it's not too deep. Rocky. Gets a bit Balboa here. Now it's time to lift the big girlie. Yep. Totally not sliding around like a drunk sheep. It's fine. Actually, I'll give you a quick update on the bikes, but it's not really anything to update you on. They're both holding their own through the impressive amount of mud that is getting caked onto them. My tyres are working, I have to say, noticeably better than Matt's 50/50s. These are Anarchy Wilds? Anarchy Wilds? Yes. And yeah, they're fine until it gets really gloopy, and then Matt does a sad face.
I don't do a sad face, I go, ooh.
You go, ooh. I'm not sure that's terribly legal like that, but the MIV exhaust is sounding wonderful. Krieger luggage, fully waterproof, not melting on the exhaust. The only thing on my bike is I've lost this bolt there. Like, whatever, my leg holds that on. Through the bog. I'm going to be a grown up and go round it. Well, no I'm not. My back tyre has made that decision for me. Attack! The TET adventure continues. Ah, this is a lot of fun. Oh, fuck. I can't believe I got through there. These tyres are amazing. I'm cross-rutted now, but whoa, I would have still been in there on my old tyres. That was very steep and very slippery. This is fine. It's slippery. Yeah, oh, these tyres are slippery, but much better than I expected in the mud. If you've seen me ride off-road before on my trip back in May, you'll probably gather that my confidence has already massively increased on this trip, and so much of that is down to these Mitas tyres. They just gave me so much more grip in the mud, and they kind of just let go more steadily as well, so I was happy kind of gassing it up, but doing little kind of skids and things like that. Even as an amateur, they made my riding so much more enjoyable, so I can heartily recommend these Mitas tyres. Anyway, as you might have seen there, this is a new tour, and it's going to be a full video series, I haven't decided yet, coming out on this around Christmas time. Lots of First World War and Second World War history, mixed with some off-road riding around the northern French TET, which was a lot of fun and a bit challenging in places because of the weather. So stay tuned, subscribe if that's your sort of thing, and I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching.